Hey guys, Ted Gravlin, the tedcast for today. This is actually video 2 of a series on the checklist, which is why I decided to wear my search and rescue flight suit today. I used to be a pilot, I used to fly airplanes, and so checklists were big for me. If you missed video 1, you can go back and watch that. I'm releasing them one every day on Facebook. Or, if you want, you can go to my YouTube channel, just search for me, Ted Gravlin, and find my channel. Subscribe to the channel. You can watch them all at once. I'm putting them all out there at one time, but I'm putting them one a day on Facebook just because it won't overwhelm everyone there. So, we talked yesterday about the first one, which was price books and how to have one of those for summer. It's kind of our pre-summer checklist. That's why we're doing the theme for what we're doing right now. The next one is phones, and how do we do our phones and make sure our phones are going to run smooth? Because if you have your phones driving you crazy when it's busy outside in the summer, when it's in a heat wave or something, it really impacts the productivity of yourself and your business. So let's go through a few items on phone checklists of what you need to be doing. First thing you got to have a main office line. And I say that because it sounds obvious, but some people I still talk to are still running their business, running around with a cell phone in their pocket, and everybody calls the owner's cell phone. And you're just crawling through an attic or in a truck or something, and people are calling, asking questions every 5 seconds. Can you come now? And just trying to schedule calls and that. And it is ridiculous for an owner of a company to be running the business from your cell phone if you've been in business for more than a month or two. Just go ahead and give your cell phone number over. Maybe people have it. Give that over to the main office line. Go get yourself a new cell phone number and give it to your mom and your spouse and your kids and the people you really care about. And you can get a new personal number that your customers don't all have. But bottom line is it has to ring in the main office line, and you got to give that up and make sure that you're not the only one answering your phones all day long, especially if you're in the field and you're doing work still of any kind. Also, if you're not in the field, it's kind of another no-brainer, which if you think about it, it's really beneficial for the owner to not initially take every single call. There's some psychological reasons for that, but basically it keeps from having to answer silly questions from customers that like, for example, how much is it to replace this motor for my thing? And if you're the owner, they would expect you to know that, and you have no excuse for that. But the purpose of the phones is really to get a technician to the home. Because if we start, trying to solve the problem on the phone, a lot of the time we don't get the customer just says, oh, thank you very much. I'll try that little quick tip you gave me, and I won't, actually book a call with you. And I'll let you know how that goes, or you start getting pushback. If you have someone like, an office person, an office girl or something like that answering the phone, they have kind of a great excuse to not give those answers to those silly questions and just say, hey, I'm not really a technician, but I can send someone out at Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So get a main number, get someone answering your phones, and then you got to get that person a script. And the script doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be so that you know that it's done consistently the same way every time. And I'm not a huge believer in word-for-word scripts, but you definitely got to have a set of bullet points. Like, hey, let's just say your new office person's name is Kelly. Say, hey, Kelly, here's what I want to have happen on the call. We're going to greet a customer with this. We're going to find out this. We're going to see what this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the things that have to happen on our call. And you kind of check the box off either physically or mentally. We're back to checklists again. So that's kind of what the scripts are for me. It's kind of what do we need to have happen here? You got to have that developed for your company so that it's consistent, right? And then, of course, you have to have a priority tree. That's kind of part of your script, but a priority tree could be, which call do we want to take first, and which one is more of an emergency, and which one is more of that can wait for later, and which kind of call is one we're absolutely going to make sure we're taking that one today, versus, it's a nuisance thing and it's not that big of a deal. So an example of that would be if you have a call for someone who, just needed a filter change, and it's, unit you installed a month ago, and you're just going to be a good neighbor to a customer. That's a nice call to take, nice to be nice to people. But if you had a call come in at the same time or very near the same time that's like, hey, I got a 20-year-old air conditioner and it's not running very good, and I think it just broke, and it's like, which one do you want to run first today to make sure we actually get to it today? Or you get the one, hey, some other company came over and told me like my compressor's dead, and what do you think? You better have a priority tree for what you're telling your office people. Hey, don't fool around. Get that one on the schedule right away. Yes, we will drop some of the things we're doing and go right over there somehow for certain kinds of calls. Maybe for you it's the warranty call. Maybe for you it's the filter change for a nice little old lady that's a good old customer. Maybe it's the one for the system that sounds like it's 20 years old and broken, and it might become an opportunity for your company. But you got to have which one is higher than the other one for your company. And the other thing is important to know is that your scripting and your priorities in that is trying to set people up for success. You're kind of teeing it up so that when your service guys get there, when a customer answers the door and you're standing there, they're kind of already teed up so they know this is what to expect. You know, you should have a thing in there. This is, hey, you know, so Joe will be there at 2 o'clock. Here's what you can expect. You should arrive within a few minutes of 2 o'clock because we do on-time appointments, or maybe you don't, whatever. But you're going to give them an expectation. He's going to go over your entire system for you, top to bottom. He'll tell you everything that's wrong with it. He'll tell you what we find, and that you can say that on the phone and kind of tee it up. And then when Joe gets there, if he's doing the same thing, the customer goes, oh yeah, I expected this. This is good. He's actually going over my whole system like they said he would. He's actually going to investigate my problems like he said he would. He's actually going to fix the problem today like they said he would. He's going to whatever. So you got to set it up for success. He said, oh, and they did mention something about the maintenance program and the club memberships there. So hey, tell me about that. Again, build it into your scripts as one of your bullet points that you can mention, you know, ask whether they have a membership or something. That is a good way. Now I've got ways that we teach that when I'm working with my clients that show how to tee all this up so that it's done properly. When you get it done really right, it just sets it up so that the customers already say, hey, Joe, your office person told me something about this thing where I get discounts if I was, you know, on the maintenance plan and I was a member or something. How do I do that? It suddenly can boost your enrollment in those programs too. Again, setting up for success. So that's today's checklist. We're going to do another one tomorrow. And if you want to see the whole thing again, go to YouTube and look me up and subscribe over there. And we'll talk soon.